How is everyone? Trying to figure out, is my phone flipped again? By accident? I think it might be. Don't know how that happens. I just keep hitting the wrong button. If I remember, I will try to fix it um, after the live stream. Maybe it isn't. Maybe the angle's wrong. I don't know. Technology. You guys haven't figured out by now? It does not work. It does not work for me. Let's see. I'm going to bring up the live stream on my desktop. These tired old eyes. They don't see the way they used to. So, Tuesday. I hope everyone has had a good, long 3-day weekend and that it was safe, and that you're feeling good, and you're ready to start a new week. Tuesday, it's already started. But hey, like I said, we had a 3-day weekend, as well as having starting a new month. And I guess scientifically, starting a new season, as I've mentioned. I don't know why I keep mentioning it. I find it fascinating that scientifically, meteorologically, it's said that autumn starts the 1st of September. Scientists, meteorologists follow the trends, weather, the amount of sunlight, all that stuff. But according to the Gregorian calendar, as well as the position of the Earth related to the sun, it doesn't start until the 22nd. It's funny. I'm more than happy to put fall and winter off as long as possible, but I'll take March 1st as the beginning of spring, and I'll take June 1st as the beginning of summer every time. Having said that, I do like equinoxes and solstices, as there's just something magical about them. It's a time to draw yourself close to nature and experience time as it is meant to be in its most natural sense. We have this time, which is the slow move pace of nature, and then there's psychological time. And then, of course, there's the absence of time itself. As Einstein said, space and time are illusions, albeit persistent illusions. Hey, poor man, how are you? You work out today? I'm going to make just a few more changes, a few more tweaks in my workouts. I'm going to do some daily pull-ups, as I feel better doing pull-ups daily. I'm also going to do Pavel's fighter pilot pull-up plan done my own way, which is low reps. You work up a rep each day, you reach a peak. Dude, he does more than 3 sets. You drop reps each set. I'm only going to do 3 sets. And you drop, since I'm doing it every day, I don't want to have a lot of volume. You drop 1 or 2 reps each set. So let's say your max pull-up right now is 11 reps, which so happens to be my max pull-up right now. Not my all-time best by a long shot, but it is pretty, it's where I am right now. At my age, with the aches and pains that I have, it's 11 reps. I'll take it. So if 11's your max, you might drop all the way out to begin the program with 5, and then you do a set of 3, a set of 1. The next day you show up, you do a set of 6, and then maybe 4, and then maybe 2. And then the day after that, you do 7, and you keep dropping reps from the preceding sets until you hit close to your max. Take a day off and you retest, see what you can get. That's the plan. I'm also going to do 2 days of get-ups in a row and then do some other stuff, mainly burpees, some dips, as the steady diet of get-ups. I liked it. Man, my shoulders feel great. With the get-ups and a reduction of burpees, my shoulders are feeling super. But I'm still having issues with my back. Poor man says, double long card on my lunch break. Man, you like to pick the hard ones, that's for sure. Hey, poor man, you ever think about doing transcendental meditation with all the meditators in your area? Skits here says, hi, Yogi, and hi to Poor Man's Gym. Is the balancing competition still going on? Poor man, believe it or not, our friend Sean, Skits, was balancing a BMX bike on his head. Poor man says, have not tried it yet, Yogi. If you're ever interested, let me know. I teach primordial sound meditation, which is derivative, both transcendental meditation as well as primordial sound meditation and several other Vedic mantra meditations. They're all derived from the same ancient source. Deepak Chopra was pretty high up. Some say he was the heir apparent to the Maharishi, and he left in the late 80s, early 90s, as he got extremely popular, and supposedly the Maharishi got a little jealous, a little upset. I don't know if that's true or not, but they parted company. Deepak went back to India, and he studied with some rishis and some yogis, some Vedic astrologers, and he came back with what he thought was a more authentic Vedic mantra meditation. I started practicing that in the early 90s and have done ever since. And about 4 years ago, I got certified to teach, which is what I nominally do for a living, fairly unsuccessfully. Long story is, I always say that I teach my friends and family absolutely for free. And if you're here, if you're hanging out, your friend and your family, if you're ever interested, anyone here, if you're ever interested in learning mantra meditation, let me know. Happy to teach you. Squirrel Sniper says, greetings again, Eric in chat. Skit says he's laughing. No, I wouldn't know. I will post a picture of it in my community so you can see it. That would be awesome. So again, you will see a photo of Sean balancing a BMX bike on his head. Poor man says, I totally get what you mean with depression and rest days. I'm the same way. Took day off yesterday and was depressed all morning. I'm better in motion. The odd thing is, when my body is in motion for much of the day, at least for a significant portion, or let's say a quality portion, my mind feels more still, more quiet. And I think for sure you understand that. Timo's here. Timo is fresh off a birthday celebration for Bax. Beautiful video, beautiful celebration, and beautiful and wonderful song. A lot of fun. Skid says, I was trying to tell my nephew a little bit about meditation today. Hey, if he has any questions, let me know. You guys can always send me an email. I mentioned this before. If anyone is on Facebook, look me up. I'm always happy to chat about anything. Let's see. Leo says, much love, Yogi the Goat. Wishing you a great evening and good vibes, brother. Much love, Yogi fam. Stay strong and be safe. Hey, Leo, is it rep time, my friend? So Leo always put in big work every day. It's another guy who knows what it is to keep moving every day, no matter what. Now he's putting in big work with a 35-pound vest. Crazy. Sometimes 2 a day. Timo says, thank you, Eric. You're welcome, Timo. It was a fun time. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Skit says, hi to Altamab. Good to see you. Leo's going to get a quick 200 2-pump before I pick up my daughter. It is 2-pump Tuesday, guys. Let's see. Skit says, Leo, very nice words indeed. William Downey, Bill's here. Says Yogs. Bill, how are you? How was your day? Hey, you'll be happy to know I got car insurance. Now tomorrow, I got to get it registered. And then get a jump start from someone. I sold my car like 4 years ago, beginning of COVID. I didn't particularly need it. It wouldn't pass emission. It was going to cost me a small fortune, which is more than my car was worth, that's for sure. And I had my dad's car, and as I was his caregiver, and it's a Honda 4-wheel drive something or another. It was easier for him to get in and out of the car because it was higher up. And then eventually, when he was in a wheelchair, it was easier to get him in that way. But I inherited the car. But unfortunately, there was a miscommunication. The insurance lapsed. I couldn't get it registered. Now my HMO, man, I do not speak ill of anyone or anything often. So I'm just going to say I dislike HMOs. They seem to have more authority than is their right. Just my thoughts. So anyway, I finally got insurance today. Geico. A little pricey. William Downey says, been busy, just sat down to watch Gunsmoke. Nice. Awesome show. James Orness, real life limp from taking shrapnel from machine gun firing in World War II. He wanted to be a pilot. He was way too big, way too tall. Instead, he was in the trenches. So many of those great actors. You know, Eddie Arnold from Green Acres. Rumor has it that is the place to be. We had this conversation before. He was Purple Heart Medal of Honor winner. And you just totally unassuming. Anyway, I love Gunsmoke. Timo says, hey to Bill. That's the skits. Timo says, hope you all are doing good and had a fantastic day so far. It was a pretty good day. Even being on the phone with Geico. It's amazing, though, how much you can get done online and by the phone. When before you had to go into, to an insurance agency, talk to an agent. I can get my car registered online. I don't have to go to DMV, which is huge. Jay says, grand evening from a drunk Jace. Well, two things. Every Jace is a good Jace, and a drunk Jace promises to be a maybe more fun Jace, right? Let's see. I don't know if Leo's going to do, he said he's getting a quick 200, so I don't know if he's going to do a live stream or not. But it's worth checking out. Actually, he is. It's upcoming. 5:45. So if you guys want to cheer him on. Jay says, you're saying I'm boring? I love you even more. Jay says, never been boring. I think it's an impossibility for Jace to be boring. I think I said, and even more fun, if that's possible. And it might not be. It might actually defy the very laws of quantum physics. Bill says, I'm here, guys. Hello. Making a sandwich, but listening. I appreciate that, Bill. So I've had a fun talk this afternoon live stream about the best 80s comedy. Of course, there can be more than one. There's always our favorite. We can have more than one favorite. The 80s might have been one of the golden eras for comedies. 70s were good too. Theradox says that he is live. Says hi. Can't stay. I'm live. Well, I appreciate you stopping in and saying hi. Let's see. Squirrel Sniper says, I'm wondering the connection between Bovril and the Vril. I need some details on that, Squirrel Sniper. Jay says, Zodax, remember to embrace everyone. Wise words. Wise words from our friend Jace, of course. Sorry, guys. Sniper says, evening, Jace. Jace says, Squirrel Bro, good evening. William Downey says, In Living Color was good 80s fun. It was. Man, the start of Jim Carrey. And you knew he was going to be huge. Yeah, I think, 80s all the way through the early 90s? Squirrel Sniper says, Bovril was the staple diet of the poor man. So, bovine, some type of cow. Our friend C. Peyton is here. Kathy. Kathy says, hey, Eric, what do you think about me doing short documentaries on some different asylums? I think that would be great. I think it would probably be a beginning, because once you start doing something like that, more inspiration starts to follow. So you do asylums, and then you start thinking of short documentaries on buildings, houses, things along those lines, or even spots outside. cemeteries. It's a great idea, Kathy. And it's awesome to see you inspired and start thinking about the things that you want to do. Semper says it's beef and yeast, paste rich in protein. Beef and yeast. Beef and yeast paste, sorry. It sounds rich in protein. It does not sound appetizing. Kathy says, thanks. Man, I hope you dive right in. Sometimes we think of a project and we plan it too much. We hesitate and then we start losing energy. We start losing momentum. What I found is when I'm inspired, it's best to dive in. It's best to make mistakes, clean the mistakes up. But as long as I'm in motion, as long as I'm working, facing the direction where I want to go. When I decided to get monetized on YouTube to actually do a channel, and I started thinking, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And I realized, as far as YouTube's concerned, I have no strengths whatsoever. All I have is a willingness to talk a lot, incessantly, sometimes repetitively. And that's it. But I have a lot of enthusiasm for the things that I love. So, as a matter of fact, I mentioned, Kathy says, I would do asylums that aren't as popular. Nice. Squirrel Sniper says to Kathy, will that be traveling or will you be editing stock footage? Great question. Yeah, so I wrote something a while back and I read it on Facebook. And I had mentioned that I thought the only true talents I have are curiosity and enthusiasm. And of course, someone had to reply, those aren't talents, those are qualities. Which, to me, it's splitting hairs. Doesn't matter. But the point is, those are the things that carry me through. They carried me through ultra running. They carried me through 100-mile races because I was always curious what was going to happen next. What was I going to see around the bend? Remember seeing a porcupine in a race and thinking, am I going to see another porcupine? I heard there's otters here. If I stick it out for another mile, maybe I'll see an otter. Bill says, you have strength, number 1, wisdom. Well, thank you for that, Bill. I think a lot of times I have the wisdom to keep quiet and to listen. William says, number 2, punctuality, being here daily. That's true. Thank you for that. This is true. I do show up every day. I was given advice a long time ago. Show up every day for the things that you love. You don't skip flossing your teeth. You guys do floss your teeth, right? Not just for dental care. It's good for heart health, believe it or not, because it gets rid of the harmful bacteria between the teeth. You want a healthy heart. Eat lots of plants. I'm not saying... sorry. Midstream, and I started laughing because number 3, I saw AOL. The second time today, someone brought up my AOL, and Bill slipped it in. He slipped it in right in that perfect time that caught me. I'm looking at the camera, and I have the vertical stream on my camera, and then I have my desktop here because it's easier to read in bigger print. I don't generally read the vertical unless I have to. And I see number 3, AOL, right there in front of me, and I couldn't help but start laughing immediately. You know, AOL. I'd like to say there's a funny story about it. There's no funny story. I just have an American Online email address. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Phil. It is, I smile a lot and I chuckle at my own jokes a lot. And I chuckle at other people's jokes as well. But it's not often, especially on camera, when I actually do a full actual laugh where I feel it in my eyes. And the times that I've done that, almost everyone, William Downey, always makes it happen. And I'm thankful for that. Man, it feels good to laugh. Mocha's always surprised when that happens because she doesn't see me overtly do a whole lot of stuff. I don't shout, I don't yell. Although I did promise the Burpee Reaper that I'm going to yell Raiders into the screen when they play. I guess their first game, I'm supposed to do it, and I don't know if I can do it. I don't yell. Let's see. Kathy says I will be doing research at home. So this is exciting, Kathy. Oh, and that reminds me, before I started laughing, showing up every day and doing it with enthusiasm and curiosity. I think about that with doing my nature shorts. What am I going to see every morning? And I gave up, or I'm giving up, uh, looking at the views because it just drives you crazy. Why did something get 6,000 views? That was almost a throwaway video. And then something that you really think is completely awesome, it gets, I don't know, a handful, 400. 400 is not bad. Sometimes they get 12. I always keep in mind Krishna's advice to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita that you are entitled to your actions, but not the fruit of your actions. Meaning, do a nature short because you love doing nature shorts. Share it because you love sharing it, because you saw something that you thought was awesome and you want other people to see it. But you can't do anything about how they're going to take it. You can't do anything about who's going to see it, who's not going to see it. Having said that, I probably could do more stuff to please the algorithms. Man, I hate doing that stuff though. Will says, love you, Yogs. I love you too, Bill. Man, made my night. Squirrel Sniper says, knew how many asylums were built in 1902 in America? I don't know, but it doesn't surprise me in the least that our friend Squirrel Sniper knows, because he knows things. William says, let me know when you want me to give you a call. Take care, everyone. I'm going to eat. I will. I'll give you a text. Enjoy your sandwich and the rest of Gunsmoke. Oscar's here. Oscar says, hello, everyone. Master Yogi. I hope everyone is doing good. This is Tuesday. Doing good this Tuesday. Much love and respect. And much love and respect for you, Oscar. 2 Pump Tuesday. You get your 2 pumps in? Kathy says, scroll, I will research it. Says bye to William. Oscar is on it. Are you you filming it? You gonna live stream it? I know Leo is getting ready. Oh, he is there already. I just want to give him a quick shout out. There we go. And I'm going to share them out. So guys, if you can support your friends on YouTube, little things, hitting the like button for someone, watching. I hear different things on what counts for a view. I heard somewhere 30 seconds. I heard 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I've heard 3 minutes. But tune in, watch, check them out, give some encouragement for as long as you're able to. Little things, they mean a lot. Sniper says 1902 was an interesting year, a new release technology. What was released? Oh, it's the year Harley Davidson was established. Nice. Oscar says probably not. I need to hurry up and get it done to pick up my twins. I have a boy and a girl, age of 6. Hey, way to stay committed though to getting it done, Oscar. Kathy says, got you, Oscar. 69 Oscar, laughing, says, poor man. Easy Breezy's here, says, hey, Eric, what kind of work are you in outside of YouTube? Mainly, right now, just YouTube. I spent decades working in middle retail management. Not a bad way to make a living. I disliked a lot of it. I was always being threatened with promotion to someday, if I kept doing what I was doing, I was going to be regional manager, district manager. And it almost felt like punishment for doing a good job. I worked in the nutritional industry. I worked at GNC, vitamin shops, stuff like that. And I liked selling supplements to people that they needed. I didn't like selling things that they didn't need, especially when senior citizens would come in. And, you know, you could say, this is going to make you feel better. This is going to make your eyes better. This is going to make you taller. This is going to make you lose weight. This is going to make your hair grow back. Every sort of supplement offers something. Most of it is bogus. There's some useful supplements out there. Creatine's a great supplement, but vitamin C is still a good supplement. A multivitamin is worthwhile. Extra vitamin D is worthwhile. It's better to get it from the sun. Not everyone can do that. A little extra doesn't hurt. So there's some useful stuff. The vast majority of it isn't. And actually, the people that I worked for appreciated the fact that I was telling customers the truth, and the customers appreciated it, and they would always come back to see me knowing that I would steer them right. But the reward for that was you get to move up the chain of command. And man, again, that sounded awful. They'd always say, but don't you want, you know, I got a boat, I got this, and I got that. And I thought, man, chasing all of that sounded awful. So I started my own training business with my kettlebells for a long time and did very well. The past few years, things got hard. My dad needed more care. I was his caregiver. And then COVID, I couldn't train anyone. I couldn't go to their house. They couldn't come to my house because I couldn't get my father. I didn't even let my father get a cold because he had congestive heart failure. Let me catch up real quick. 1902 was also the year that Americans swapped their seal from Phoenix to a bald eagle. I didn't know that. Oscar's going to record and post it later. I'll be looking for you, Oscar. Oscar says, thank you all. Thank you, my friend. Oscar says, poor man, I got that. 69. Easy Breezy says, I'm like that. I'm 27 and I've struggled so much to finding a career path for myself. Yeah, I fell into retail and I made okay money. It was easy to stay there, but it wasn't in yogic terms, Vedic terms, dharma, my purpose. Although in karma yoga, they say you do what you do to fulfill your responsibilities, but you surrender the results to God, to Krishna, Shiva, Vishnu, doesn't matter. Um, so after losing my business, my father passed away. Um, I sort of felt really lost. I cared so much for my father. Um, it was an honor to be his caregiver, and I thought, what does a caregiver do when the person he was caring for is no longer here? And I realized, continue to care. You continue to care. Meditation has seen me through everything for the past 30 plus years. It allowed me to be an effective caregiver for my mom. It allowed me to be a better stepfather for my daughter. Didn't do much as far as me being a better husband. Not that I was a bad husband, but I'll be honest with you, I was withdrawn a lot. Not as engaged as I could have been. And for those who've been here and have experienced hanging out with Mocha, she's very engaging. She likes going out. She likes doing stuff. And it was hard for me, but it was harder for her. Anyway, I decided that I was going to continue being a caregiver, but I was going to do it by teaching meditation and breath work. So I got my teaching certification. And again, nominally, that's what I do for a living. I'm just not good at it. I'm good at teaching. I'm not good at business. And that's when I decided I'm going to see what I can do on YouTube. I inherited a house. I had a small bit of money I inherited, and it's almost gone because I was splitting costs for the house with someone. And we both inherited the same amount of money. He went through it very fast, could not afford to pay the taxes on the house, which was supposed to be split. So I paid the whole thing without any regrets whatsoever. However, it meant I had to hurry up and figure out what to do. So having a house, I don't need a whole lot. Having a car, I don't need a whole lot. Pay my taxes, pay my utilities, which hopefully will be split now, and buy some food and maybe a book once a month. And I thought, what the perfect opportunity. The one thing I know that was my dharma was expressing myself through writing and now through talking about the things that I love. Can I do it? I don't know. But I'm going to try until I run out of money. And then we'll see what happens. Well, easy breezy. We've talked about this before, right? 27 is a good age. It's a strong age. It's also a good age to really start thinking about, what do you enjoy? What are the things that call to you? Make a list. If money wasn't an issue, what would you do? A book I highly recommend that I bought in 1993. And this is the original copy. I've had it with me several houses. It's actually signed to Miyamoto from Deepak Chopra. 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And the success that he's talking about is finding your purpose, is using ancient Vedic yogic principles to find your dharma, your life's purpose. Buddha's here. Buddha, my friend, how are you? Sniper says, it's not what you want. You sometimes need to know what you don't want to then get the idea of what you really are. It's an excellent point. Unfortunately for me, I went through a lot of don't wants. Buddha says, I drifted off, just woke up. Well, I'm glad you woke up and are spending some time here, my friend. Excuse me, guys. Hey, is there anyone hanging out in the live stream that is not subscribed to Skits? As he is 20 subs away from getting 50 subs so he can do live streams. Buddha says, no problem. Poor man says, nice work on videos, Oscar. Oscar is a joyful warrior. He knows how hard burpees are. He says how hard burpees are, but he does them with a whole bunch of joy. He suffers with a whole lot of joy. Kathy says, you will get it figured out easy breezy. I have faith in you. Thank you, Kathy. Poor man says, hey to Buddha and to Peyton. Peyton says, hi to poor man. Taking my herbal sleep supplement. So, Kathy, when are you going to get started? And we'll support you 100% all the way through. Whatever you need, drop links here. Let people know. Do premieres. I've never done a premiere. They seem technical. Everything seems a little technical to me. But I bet either you know how to do it or you'll figure it out pretty quick. I've also have never edited anything. Easy breezy. You know what one of the important things is? You asking those questions. You know how many people never think about their life's purpose? Oscar says, thank you, poor man. I appreciate everyone. Semper says, I went straight into an industry that's dog eat dog, stabbing each other in the back to get the upper hand. That's not me. I'm a people's person, and I love to the classy acts. I waited silver service. Wow. How long did you do that for? Seppa says after working in the film industry. I think you mentioned the film industry before. I don't remember what you did though. Hey, that goes for everyone here, by the way. Um, what I was saying to Kathy, if you guys need extra support, stop by, drop your link, let us know what's going on in your channel. Um, Shout it out to us, and then we can shout it out to other people. This is why I keep wanting to get Skits to 50, because I think once he gets to 50 and he can do the live streams and he can showcase his talent, that his channel will just take off. But I was saying to Easy Breathy, excuse me, Easy Breathy. I'm still not getting it right. That a lot of people never ask those questions. They settle. They settle into something that they think is going to make a lot of money, might give them some power, might give them some prestige, might give them the big house with a white picket fence, get them the trophy wife or trophy husband with the 2 point whatever kids. But is it a passion? Is it your dharma? Are you on purpose? Here's the thing to know if you're on purpose. Are you benefiting other people? And are you joyful when you do it? Easy says, I'm really passionate about the medical field because I've seen a lot of people suffering from disease and it affected deeply, but becoming a doctor seems too unreasonable because I'm bad in school. What about nursing school? What about a something in medical technician? What about an EMT? Man, if our friend UK Medic shows up sometime, definitely talk to him. The amount of good, sometimes you can do more good than an actual doctor because you're there on the front lines. You're holding someone's hand, you're easing their pain, easing the suffering, and most importantly, you're easing their fear. When someone's in that traumatic situation, that fear is just got to be overwhelming. When there's a steady hand, not just steady, but someone who is dedicated to seeing you through, no matter where that might be. If this is the end, they will hold your hand until it's the end. They will be there. They will ease you through. And hey, if you are someone who can take a spiritual approach to that, so not only are you easing them from this life, but you are easing them into whatever comes after. It's important to me when I was holding my dad's hand when he passed away. Whatever happens after death, we know the brain shuts down gradually. Awareness remains. So he wasn't going to go through that alone. I was going to hold his hand the entirety. Sue's here. Hey, Sue. Squirrel Sniper says, I left school at 17 and went into the post-production as a runner in Soho, London for 3.5 years. Kathy says, well, hello, Sue. How are you? Bumblebee T is here and says, T, how are you? What about ambulance person? That's what I was thinking. EMT, medical technician. There's lots of stuff in the medical industry without having to be a doctor. There's also holistic medicine. There's also Ayurvedic medicine. Maybe think in terms outside of medical field to healing fields. But let your mind open up. What is it that draws me to the medical field? What is it that draws you there? And then let's see where we can branch out. That was me doing hand gestures. This is the international branch out symbol. Sniper says there's also a cocktail Flair with a degree in making cocktails. Wow. So I took that and went to civil service, and then into the uh, public and trade for a while, about 8 years. It's a long time. Kathy Suicide Bumblebee. Sue says she's just well to see. Kathy says she's good. Hey, we got a few new people in the chat. Kathy, do you want to share your news of what you're going to be doing? T says, I went through a lot in my career, an ambulance worker, and I have zero regrets, and I still live with trauma from 30 years ago. There's also x-ray techs and holistic therapies. Yeah, the field is wide open. And just because you haven't been good in school doesn't mean you won't be good in school. When you were in school, were you doing the things that you thought were going to lead you to do the things that you loved? When you find that passion, when you hold on to that passion, you are you're given more capabilities. I'll read something in just a minute. Let me get caught up in the chat. Cypress says, after the pubs and hotels, I was the installing slot machines and video games in army barracks across the east of UK. Then working 5 years nights for the Crown Prosecution Service, delivering evidence. Kathy says, I was told I need to go to Chinley to investigate on the red slot if things happen there. Interesting. Investigate on the res. That would be really interesting. That would bridge a whole lot of things in one. T says I did a diploma in holistic therapy. Nice. Sniper says changed total career when I was 32. Went back to college, got a degree in arboriculture as an arborist. Last 20 years. And man, it's obvious that Sniper loves what he does. But look at the path it took him to get there. T says, love it. And I thought reflexology was about touching feet. I was so wrong when I was not told a woman had a hysterectomy. And I thought it on a specific point on her feet ankle. Wow, interesting. Hey, massage therapist. Chinese medicine, acupuncture. And again, I really need to emphasize that just because T says she got into her ambulance career by sheer accident and fluke, just because you were not good in school, doing things that bored you, didn't excite you, doesn't mean you won't be good in school doing something that you feel passionate about, that you're curious about and enthusiastic about. Let me read this is from Patanjali. Got my Yoga Sutras ever handy with me. Patanjali's Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And he talks about that. So I'm going to read this real quick. Hey, William, how are you? What's new? So I'm going to dive back into the conversation. Let me read this easy breezy if you're still here. This is from Ancient Wisdom from Patanjali. When you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all of your thoughts break their bonds. Your mind transcends limitations. Your consciousness expands in every direction, and you find yourself in a new, great, and wonderful world. Dormant forces, faculties, and talents become alive, and you discover yourself to be a greater person by far than you ever dreamed yourself to be. I'm going to repeat that last part. Dormant forces, things that you don't even realize you possess right now. Faculties and talents, all of which you might not even be aware of, become alive, and you discover yourself to be a greater person than you ever dreamed yourself to be. You, Easy Breezy, you are a greater person right now than you ever dreamed possible to be. You now have the gift of enthusiasm. You now have the gift of curiosity. And that's just two that we can name. More will come. You stay on point. You stay on purpose. You discover exactly what it is. All those things that we named, and there's so many more. Look it up online. Get some brochures. Talk to people. Talk to people in the medical industry. And the right one will come to you. The right, this is it. This is what I want to do. And explore all kinds of stuff. Explore the Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic, which is the sister science to yoga. It's based on nutrition and health. Explore all of them. And then when you're on point, when you say this is it, those dormant forces and talents will become alive within you because you already possess them now. Remind me if, I don't know if Kathy's here, but if Kathy comes back, I'm going to read that for her as well. Let's see. William says, hello, I appear to have missed a lot. You know what, though? The conversations just get interesting when William Hart shows up. William Hart, I'm sorry. William says, I basically dropped out in 7th grade. The education system isn't capable of catching all of us that fall through the cracks. Similar story, William. I'll talk to you sometime about that. I most definitely fell through the cracks. Surprisingly, as both my parents are teachers, and even they, and they loved me, they couldn't stop me from falling. T says to Bumblebee T, skeptics call it magic. Bumblebee T, I'm no skeptic. T says, yoga, I learned aromatherapy and massage too, and reflexology as main topics. I was supposed to do Indian head massage, but I wasn't meant to be when I received Indian head massage. Kathy says, my neighbor called. Sorry. Fellows says, I'm back. He didn't even realize you left. Just seems that you were here, you know, in my heart the whole time. T says she passes out. Easy says, I'm still here. Thank you for that. You're welcome. I'm excited for you. The world is wide open. Hey, Kathy, because you're starting a new project, I'm going to read what I just read for Easy Breezy from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Ancient wisdom, ancient yogic wisdom, 2,000 plus years old. When you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all of your thoughts break their bonds. Your mind transcends limitations, your consciousness expands in every direction, and you find yourself in a new, great, and wonderful world. Dormant forces, faculties, and talents become alive, and you discover yourself to be a greater person than you ever dreamed yourself to be. So, Kathy, may those words carry you through your next project and the things that you'll be doing. I'm excited for you too, my friend. T says, easy breezy, please look at volunteer work to get the skills and then do the exams. Sniper says we'll actually meet you halfway. Man, you got a lot of support here, Easy. Kathy said, I heard it, Eric. Hey, remember, sometimes those dormant forces are other people supporting you. Other people using their talents to help you. T says, Squirrel, I did mistype. I meant to say specific. T says, cited William. Squirrel Sniper says, William, have you thought we, the dropouts, are the lucky ones? It could be true. We escaped the trap, you know? And it is a trap. Hey, Brian. Brian says, hi, Eric. Getting ready to get out and work out. Also, but put new video and said how looking for the good in everything is a yoga thing. Learn from you. Well, thank you, Brian. I'm going to bring your channel up, and when the live stream is over, I'm going to spend some time with Brian Lane. As everyone should. I hope you guys take time out to visit each other. Brian has an awesome channel, which is not surprising. Brian's an awesome guy. Brian waves Squirrel Sniper. William says, yes, Squirrel, but disadvantaged by the collective. I am unable to make a way of my own. It feels like I am no longer in water, but the salt that remains, and it suffocates. We can transcend that. We can actually use that. Let's see. T says, Squirrel Sniper says to Bumblebee T, I got you right. What I meant is fully understand where you're coming from. T says, William Hart, I hope you're feeling well. Oh, sorry, I missed William. Dungeon programming is insane. They feel like Sentinels, Weeping Angels. I don't know what that is. Oh, Kathy says, now my other neighbor called. Talk to you soon. Keep us posted, Kathy. Easy says, without going into too much detail, I basically did a lot of drugs in my youth, and it affected my ability to focus and learn, but I will keep trying. Hey, have you ever heard of neuroplasticity? It's the mind's ability to regenerate new neural pathways. The brain's a living thing. It's not static. It's never set. You can always keep learning new things. Hey, if you want, reach out to me. I don't know if I keep mentioning to people, if you're on Facebook, look me up, send me a message. If you're not, I'll give you my email. Send me an email. Easy. If you want to learn meditation, I will teach you absolutely for free. It's an excellent way of rewiring the brain, of tapping into those dormant forces that we talked about. This isn't so much the medical industry, but have you ever thought about drug and alcohol counseling? Because think about your position, not an accident. You right now have the ability to help so many people who have been through what you've been. Brian says, thanks, Eric. Thank you, Brian. T will be right back. Timo says, good night. Good night, my friend. Thank you again for the birthday party. This was Bax's second birthday. Optimob, by the way, Timo, Sabine, and Bax, 164 watch hours left, and they are fully monetized. So if you can watch a video or 2 or 3, it would be much appreciated. T says, Yogi, can we talk neuroplasticity? We absolutely can. I am not an expert on it, obviously. Lord says, good night to Timo. Thank you for sharing Bax's birthday with us. Absolutely. So everyone's saying good night. I'll be saying good night relatively soon. William says, Sentinel, like always on guard against the errants, weeping angels, also observing. When you take your eyes off them, they move from Doctor Who TV series. Interesting. T says, gotta go. Bathroom needs. Samper says, in the UK, laws are passed in Parliament. The word Parliament comes from the French verb parler, which means to speak, and mente, which means to lie. Well, boy, that sums it up nicely, doesn't it? William says, I'm accepting that everything is a lie. What do you mean? By everything? I like thinking in terms of illusory more than a lie. Although we have convinced ourselves that this is the way it is, this is the way the world works. How about hypnotized? Squirrel Semper says, take your pick, Eric. Easy says, all the recommendations sound very helpful. Thanks to everyone. You're welcome, my friend. Keep us posted. Squirrel Semper says, you take your pick. Let's see. William says exactly that this is not reality. It's a fabricated lie. It reminds me, I mentioned this earlier, what Einstein said about space and time. They're illusions, but they are persistent illusions. We bought the illusion. We bought the illusion that this is what you need to do. You need to be a success, and your success needs to be measured by other people, not by you. That, hey, not everyone gets lucky enough to find what they're good at and to pursue it and to make a living out of it. And it's all about luck or knowing the right people or having the right parents, having the right genetics. The vast majority of people who, what was it, Thoreau said, living a life of quiet desperation. Let's look that up. So just because it is illusory doesn't mean it's permanent. Everyone can wake up from the dream. How many people literally have the realization that William has? Probably quite a few. But then they say, what can I do about it? It's easier. It's easier. And it's easier to follow the distractions. All the shiny paths that lead nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. If a path isn't leading within, if it doesn't have heart, you're never going to wake up. Give me 1 second and I'll dive back in the chat. I just want to read this real quick. Henry David Thoreau, whom I love, by the way. The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. What is called resignation is confirmed desperation. From the desperate city, you go into the desperate country and have to console yourself with the bravery of minks and muskrats. A stereotype but unconscious despair is concealed even under what are called the games and amusements of mankind. There is no play in them, for this comes after work, but it is characteristic of wisdom not to do desperate things. The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. People generally aren't happy. Let's see. Planes are cool. Planes are cool. One says, would you know if you were part of the construct, or is the belief that there are no others, you are part of the construct? Is there a true awakening from the dream, or another layer, like an onion? Excellent question. Depends on the school of thought. There's nothing the matter with onions, though. Reminds me of Scroll Sniper, and I talked about this. Turtles all the way down. Onion layers all the way down. Doesn't matter. And you can awaken from the dream, but here's the thing. Before you awaken from the dream, you can have a happier dream. But if you're not turning inwards, if you're not doing the work, if you're not practicing, but you're, again, chasing after shiny things, you never, one, create a happier dream, two, you never awaken. You can have an awakening experience just like this. I pointed that out on one of the yoga talks, Douglas Harding's The Headless Way. And if you truly look in that direction, you have an awakening experience right now, and things will never quite be the same because you see the illusion. William says, what I know cannot be possible to know, and yet here be this form, proof of that impossibility. T is back. Sniper says, in 3895 BC, Great Flood was collapse of vapor canopy. The vapor canopy created a different atmosphere, allowing organic matter, including animals, to grow to extraordinary sizes. Easy says, you remind me a lot of what Ram Dass said. I was a big fan of him and Timothy Leary. I am too, quite a bit. And of course, they have their connection back to the Harvard psychedelic days. Yeah, I've been reading Ram Dass since the 1970s. Sniper says, those large animals and reptiles, the indoctrinated called dinosaurs, for an agenda that need to go back millions of years. You mentioned this before on a comment. How is the act of practice not a shiny thing being chased? My eyes perceive the light in this space, but what I witness is significantly greater than what is observable in this form. T says, hey, William, how are you, buddy? Larodax is back. Practice opens you up. You are in the world, but not of the world. That you are living a happier dream until you have that awakening and you can step from the dream itself. That here's the metrics. Are you at peace? Are you at peace? When you're practicing, there comes a peace because you're on point. Practice isn't separate from life. You're not practicing to be something other than you are. What you are is the practice. This is why St. Catherine of Siena said, all the way to heaven is heaven. This is why Jesus said, The kingdom of heaven is within. The path isn't a shiny thing. The path is the thing. Is the thing. The path is enlightenment. Suzuki Roshi, the great Zen master, when he was asked, does meditation lead to enlightenment? And he said, no. Enlightenment is meditation. The very act of meditation is enlightenment itself. All the way to awakening is awakening. To think of the path as a shiny thing misses the entirety of the path. Misses it completely. You think this is just another thing to do. It's going to get me nowhere. Exactly. It's going to get you nowhere. Nowhere. There's nowhere else to play. Right here, right now. Your eyes wake up and you go, this is it. This is life. This is what I have. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. But I'm committed to live a life of selfless service. I'm committed to helping others. I see a glimpse, and I can help others see a glimpse. And as I keep practicing, that glimpse grows bigger and bigger. I become capacity to hold the entire world, one person at a time, one animal at a time, one insect, one worm, one breath at a time. So my advice, keep chasing shiny things. Keep going out there and keep thinking the path is worthless, because that's where you'll be. You'll be having the same experiences next year, but it'll be something else. And the same experience after that, same experience after that. Never ending. Never ending. Let's see. Breezy says, Laradox says, Jesus loves you all. Brian says, also like Alan Watts. Me too. Quite a bit. Let's see. Easy says, do you have experiences with psychedelics? They really helped my life immensely. I do have experiences with psychedelics. And they helped me as well. Unfortunately, it was largely recreational through 80s, but even recreational, I got tremendous benefits from them. I wish I had the experiences of being with a shaman or at least a trained psychotherapist. Brian says he did shrooms. Brian says hello to Easy Breezy. William says if only had access. You don't need them though, William. Sniper says, Brian Lane, I have Alan Watts speaking for hours over some trance music. Goes really well. Yeah, I bet. Wonderful speaker. Sniper says, reading Laradox, what's new? Brian says, I bet, Squirrel Sniper. That's good. Let's see. William Hart says, I agree, Squirrel, if the very act of practice, the very act of practice, the path, the awakening, there is no other place. The acts are like walking. If you can drive, there's simply no space differential between the path. Sniper says, committed to say thank you for that which you have received. Absolutely. Beautifully said, Sniper. William says, can you not arrive at the same conclusion or obtain enlightenment? I don't know. Throw awakening and enlightenment out the window. They arrive when they arrive, or they don't arrive. The practice isn't to obtain anything. It's to do. It's Sisyphus's rock. And we find meaning and satisfaction through that. Remember in the retelling of Sisyphus, it was a punishment. You got to push that stone up the hill and it's going to go back. Albert Camus reimagined it. That not only did Sisyphus find satisfaction in pushing the stone, he became happy and joyful, struggling to push it up and knowing it was going to fall back down. And he would smile as it came back down because he got to push it up again. That's life. It's a Sisyphusian endeavor. My practice breaks me open. And when I'm broke open, I love more people. Could I do that without a practice? Maybe, but I didn't. It's only when I started practicing that I did. Will it be different for you? Maybe, but only when you exhaust all those other options. Well, it says, you imagine I have done nothing to walk the path. What if I already there? And only by deception I was lulled into a false sense of believing it wasn't. That's the path. That's the entirety of it. You wake up and you look down and it's there. It's not about arriving at anything. It's about doing the things that allow you to live a happier dream. Are you at peace? Are you content? Are you loving? Are you of service? Do you cause least harm? Easy metrics. That's it. Don't worry about awakening. Don't worry about enlightenment. Don't worry about any of that stuff. Are you at peace? If not, what's going to bring you peace? T says, William Hart, I'm in pain after injury. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. William says, it's by your definition of what you witnessed that I do not measure up. I'm not measuring you, William. Not even a little bit. I have no interest in measuring you. Not even a little bit. Not even an iota. You do not measure up and you don't fall away. You are William Hart, a person that I like, a person that I care for. And if it was within my power to help you, I would do so. Simple as that. But, you know, we have conversations here and other places, and you tell me that you are unsatisfied. You tell me that you're not happy. So we can explore it or not. It's entirely up to you. Squirrel Snapper says to William, being told and finding out are 2 different things, even if the same results. Absolutely. Easy says, I've heard you say that you don't need, I heard before that you said you don't need psychedelics to reach that state, but I find out that same level of peace and enlightenment without them. Oh yeah, you can. And it's permanent. You don't need to take anything. The psychedelics aren't taking you somewhere that you're not already. They're opening the doors of perception. But every time you take one, it's the same door. And then you got to take more to get through that same space. The thing is, you already know they exist. But this is why the Buddha, and this is why Patanjali always urge, you don't chase after those things. They're distractions. They lead away. What anyone wants is to live a life without suffering. The Buddha said that this is the way out of suffering. Yoga says this is the way out of suffering. Jesus says this is the way out of suffering. And of course, none of us do it. We're immersed and we don't believe, because to get out of suffering means we got to give up certain things of this world. We have to live a life of unattachment, not detached, unattachment. Brian says, was Leo live, then clocked back on instead of private? Don't know why. Interesting. Yeah, I checked him out when he started. Roy says, right. If I was always there, I fear deceived into believing I wasn't. How is that not the same thing? I don't understand what you mean about the same thing. I also don't understand, what are you getting at? If you're already there and you know you're already there, relax and simply be. Simply be there. Nothing else to do. You're a kind-hearted person. You're a loving person. Be that. Nothing else to do. Do you want to practice meditation? Do you want to practice yoga? Do you want to practice Buddhism? Do you want to practice Christianity? That's a bonus. Awesome. But you already are. You're one, you already exist. Two, you're already being. Three, you're already aware. Awakening is just being aware that you are aware. Remind yourself of that every day. Wake up in the morning, say thank you, and then say, I'm aware of being aware. There you go. The entirety of the path. Some people meditate, some people pray, some people do tea ceremonies. My cat's telling me I gotta go to bed. One says, I'm not worried about about it being told I'm not at peace. It is the interesting part. So someone can assault me, and it is their projection. I'm not following the steps. It's not measured at peace. Is that not another projection? It's all another projection. It's all another projection. Every bit of it. Here's the thing. Don't worry about other people's projections. You can't change it. Don't worry about your projections. They're there. They're present. But the more you do just the simple things, forgiving yourself for those projections, the more how you perceive the world begins to change. T says, good night, all. Need an early bed tonight. Early night. Me too. I'm going to go to bed in just a minute. Brian says, I'll catch you later, Eric and everyone. Have a blessed day. You too, Brian. Thank you again. T says, catch you all soon. William says again, and assuming I'm not doing anything for myself, which is the part that is most concerning by another definition of what they have limited observations of. So I'm still not following you. Easy says, what did the yogi's teaching say about the afterlife? The thought of nothingness causes me a lot of stress as well. Well, here's the amazing thing. The nothingness that the yogis and Buddha talk about is already here now. Things will never get more nothing than it is right now. It's the nothingness that allows the thingness to exist. Without nothingness, nothing could be. It's like the emptiness of a page allows a story to be told. But without that emptiness, which is not separate from the thing itself, the story can't be told. You and I are a story told through the emptiness, spaciousness. But just because it's empty doesn't mean it's not aware. Awareness itself Sniper says, easy breezy. How many cycles do you see? Sniper says, the day follows night. Turning of the stars, hands on the clock. Round and round. You don't think it's a one-shot pony? Roy says, Ed, seemingly invaluable. I wish you all a good night. Squirrel Sniper says, good night, William Hart. Good night, William. Let's see. Easy says, Squirrel, I'm not sure. I'm still new to understanding these concepts. I always like going back to the Zen Sutra, the Heart Sutra. Emptiness is form. Form is emptiness. And the operative word is. It's not saying that form becomes emptiness or that emptiness becomes form. It says is. Emptiness is form right now. The desk that I'm pounding on, emptiness. And yet I'm able to pound on it. The body, emptiness. And yet I'm able to have a heart that beats, a brain that nominally thinks. Mayhem and Miracle says, hi, Yogi. Aja, my friend, how are you? It is wonderful to see you. I'm glad you got a chance to pop in. We're just getting ready to wind down. Been about an hour and a half. Maja says, I'm good. Nice. Had a busy month. I saw you did some, you went fishing, right? Sniper says, hi to Mayhem Miracles. Easy says, thanks for all this knowledge, everyone. I will be here regular every stream. Good night, everyone. Good night to you, my friend. And thank you for hanging out. My cat is yelling at me. So, all right. Let's wrap things up for the night. It was a good talk. Covered a lot of stuff. A lot of important stuff. Did we get to the bottom of any stuff? Nope. We're not supposed to get to the bottom. As our friend William said, it's like an onion peel. It's always that nothingness. But it's the nothingness that allows the somethingness to exist. Pretty amazing. That's why we don't have to fear nothingness. Things become, things cease. Things become, things cease. We don't need to understand because we're part of it. Do you understand how the heart beats and the brain thinks and the lungs pump and the spleen does spleen stuff? Nope. It just happens completely on its own. Trust the divine intelligence. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Mayhem says hi to everyone. Says hi to Squirrel Sniper and good to see you. It's always good to see Squirrel Sniper, isn't it? You know Squirrel Sniper shows up, you're going to have an interesting conversation. And you also know you're going to learn something. I was mentioning Mayhem and Miracles earlier today. Support unparalleled that I would not be monetized right now, fully monetized, without the help of Mayhem and Miracles. Because that means the help of everyone. So many people I met. I refuse to call them subscribers because that cheapens the experience. I made friends. I made connections. Some very, very good friends. And some who I'm able to just touch base with, which is cool as well. All of it's cool, the entire experience. Um, and then as my channel grew, I met more people, and they heard me talk about Mayhem and Miracles, and they went there and they grew their channels, and they met more people, and more people came here. Connections. It's all about connections, and I don't mean connections to get what you want. It means when you make these connections and you help other people. We had a talk earlier this afternoon about SEVA, SEVA, selfless service. Help other people get what they want, and your own channel is going to grow. Help other people grow their channel even just a little bit. Give them some watch hours, subscribe, leave a kind comment. If you stumble across someone that you don't know, but the algorithms give you a gift, take advantage of it. Get to know them. Recommend Mayhem and Miracles because it'll help them and the circle grows. Extremely fortunate. I was extremely fortunate to find Mayhem and Miracles, and I am thankful. I've gotten 2 YouTube paychecks. One for July and August. Was it August? Maybe it was June and July. I'm all confused. And anyway, when I saw it was deposited, I gave thanks. It wasn't so much for the money. It was that what I had wanted became a reality, and it became a reality because I met people like Maja, like Squirrel Sniper, like William Hart, like Bumblebee T. Pretty cool stuff. That's all I got to say. It is pretty cool stuff. I will see everyone later. I got my 5 a.m. live stream. For any reason, I don't know why anyone would be up at 5 a.m. if they don't need to be. Some people are. I am. I've actually already been awake for a couple of hours at 5 a.m. But if you happen to be one of them, come on by. I love my favorite live stream of the day, 5 a.m. It's quiet. Just the right people show up. And it's a lot of fun. And it's short. That's the best news of all. It doesn't last too long. All right, guys. I'm going to see everyone later. Take care.